Good afternoon, everyone. Kalla here. Welcome to my live stream. Glad you could make it today. So today, to finish up the games I've chosen to show for Choose Wisely Festival, which the festival link is in the description box. I have Whispers of the Luminaries, well, the demo of Whispers of the Luminaries, which is an idol-themed detective game. So if you want to check that out, there is a link in the description to the Steam page so you can go and wishlist it for when it comes out. Hello Drag, hello VR Heaven, how are you doing? Yes, totally not the dev. With the dev handle there. Hello, welcome to the stream. Alright, let us go. Exhausted? Yeah, I imagine you have done a lot of work this week getting the bugs fixed for the demo, right? Hopefully you can have a bit of a rest now. I get to choose. Ooh, I get to choose. Oh, don't want to be a boy or a girl today. I think I'll be a girl today, since I have the choice. Ever since we were little, we made... Oops. No, that was fast. Today that dream was shattered. I don't know what that dream was, because I missed it, because I was looking away when that popped up. May? Where are you? This isn't funny anymore. She took a step forward. Do you remember the promise we made? Don't tell me you forgot. May? May! Answer me! No response. Miyuki swallowed. She was just here a moment ago. Where could she have gone? Think. Her home was that way, so maybe... May! May, are you there? It was no use. I searched the entire area, but May was nowhere to be found. I'm sorry, May. Sirens pulsed through the night, getting louder as each minute passed. They were frantically searching for her. But little did they know, the missing girl was lying right in front of me. There had to be dozens, perhaps hundreds of people outside. Police officers and civilians who had joined the fray, even a helicopter circling overhead. This was no ordinary search. It was an all-out, large-scale operation in the middle of the night. But as long as I didn't leave any trails behind, I should be safe, no matter how many of them there were. I had planned for the worst-case scenario, though I didn't expect law enforcement to act this quickly. Was May really that important? An idol trainee from an upcoming idol group that hadn't even debuted yet. Regardless, I couldn't get complacent. The next steps were crucial. I had to make sure the plan was foolproof. For now, I'd lay low and think things through. There was just one problem. The concert was coming up soon. The concert. A lot still needed to be done before then. Would there be enough time? I looked at the calendar and counted the weeks remaining. May 20th. 7 weeks remaining. 7 weeks. Musicom Detective Agency. I gaze out the window, hoping to catch a glimpse of E.G.'s car. Sorry, A.G., I think that should have been. It's already 10, but the boss hasn't arrived yet. Just what is that old man up to? He's never this late. Did he sleep in or something? Or maybe he's having his 10-course meal for breakfast? Well, no use in dwelling on it. Guess I'll have to wait. Huh? Someone's there. A.G.? I'm coming. A.G.'s not the type to knock. He'd just barge straight in. This was probably a client, judging by the urgency of those knocks. Please help! My daughter is missing and the police can't find her. What? Calm down. She's been missing since yesterday and we're running out of time. Please help. Okay, I understand. Let's take a seat first, shall we? Prologue. Hopes and Dreams. I want to be the best. I want to help Mum and Dad. May Ayano had always been a little girl with the biggest dreams. At just 5 years old, she was taught to play piano by her sister, Misa, a 19-year-old who had recently graduated high school. "This is Middle C," Misa said in a warm voice. "It's the heart and soul of the piano, so be sure to remember it." "Middle C? Wow! What a cool name!" May whispered as she places her thumb over the key. In the cold winter night, all they had was each other and a few blankets. The cold air seeped through the cracks on the walls. Their parents were out working overtime and there was no heating or air conditioning. "You learnt the song in one sitting. Great work, May." "Thank you." "Keep working hard and maybe one day Mum and Dad won't have to work so late anymore," said Misa. "I love piano and I want to help Mum and Dad." Misa places her hand over her little sister's head. "I shall teach you." The hunger and cold fueled May's motivations even further. Deep down, May wanted to help her parents earn money so they didn't have to work so hard anymore. She wanted a better life for everyone, and playing piano was her path to doing that. Unfortunately, Misa took a job overseas, leaving May on her own. No one to guide her and no one to perform for. But they say the most important thing to becoming successful in this industry is desperation, and May had plenty to spare. It wasn't long until she began elementary school, where she met Miyuki. This would be the spark that ignited her idol journey. We needed to act fast. A girl went missing last night on her way home from school. At worst, this could be a kidnapping. At best, she got herself into some kind of accident. Either way, the survival rates for a missing person can go downhill pretty quickly if we don't find them in time. 24 hours, 85% chance of success. 48 hours, no, sorry, survival. That was survival and not success. Let's do that right next time. 48 hours, 50% chance of survival. 72 hours, 10% chance of survival. There was no time to waste. Damn it, AG, you had to go MIA at the worst possible time. Looks like I'll have to handle this case without him. Maybe he got kidnapped too. For now, let's gather as much intel as possible from May's mother before heading out. Mrs. Ayano, before I go out, I need to know... Yes, any recent unusual behaviours? Did you notice anything unusual from May leading up to her disappearance? Unusual? She was always the same. The only thing that felt unusual was the timing of everything. May disappeared only a few days after her concert debut announcement. It was announced a few days ago that her group will be performing next month on the 20th. Concert debut has been added to the evidence list. You can open the evidence list in the top left sidebar. Over here. Ooh. Oh, that's cool. I was like, sidebar, it turns into a full bar if you hover over it. That is very cool. So we've got backlog, auto mode, settings, evidence, save, load, relationships, stats. Alright. Evidence, concert date. May disappeared a few days after her concert debut was announced. The Luminaries are scheduled to perform on May 20th. Can we go... Oh, we can go straight into that. Relationship, so this is a trust factor. Ooh. Trust factor 7 out of 10 for AG. Yuki Hirota, trust factor 9 out of 10. Mei Ayano, trust factor 0 out of 10. Well, I mean, we haven't met her yet, so that makes sense. What's in stats? Oh, we have personality, health, sanity, and intelligence stats. Sanity stat, huh? That's only got announced a few days ago. Yeah, looks like we're gonna have to manage ourselves. Drag. Recent disputes. Are there any disputes between May and anyone at her school or her personal life? Absolutely not. We would be right on top of it if we knew anything like that. What about any case of jealousy? None. Mei Ayano has been added to the case files. Ooh. Persons of interest. Anyone I can talk to for more information? Miyuki was with her last night when she disappeared. Her friends from the group might also know something. Miyuki Fujikawa has been added to the case files. So I guess is that going to be under... No, that's not under relationships. It's going to be under evidence? Yes. Mei Ayano, the victim of this case, no history of disputes or personal enemies. Miyuki Fujikawa, May's closest friend, the last person to have seen May before her disappearance. Right. Thank you, that's all the info I need. I'll go out and start looking for May now. Let's handle the paperwork after, okay? Hello? Oh, there we go. Thank you. Please bring her back safely. I poured myself a cup of coffee before heading out. We had access to valuable information thanks to AG's connections in law enforcement. Nothing can match the intel gathering speed of the police. I entered and see a familiar face. Morning, Tatsuya. Officer Tatsuya looks up from his cluttered desk, showing a hint of surprise. Ah, Miyako. Long time no see. What brings you here today? Working on a new case? Yeah, the case of Mei Ayano who went missing yesterday. Do you have any reports from last night's investigation? Urgent case, huh? Please come with me. The police are actually useful instead of just gumshoe. Yeah. I was gonna say gumshoe's useful, but yeah, that's what you said. Alright. Officer Tatsuya scrolled through the report on his screen, his brow furrowed. So, last night, 9 p.m. The victim, Mei Ayano, had just finished her idol training at Yokohama Arts. After practice, instead of going straight home, she went to the nearby river with her friend Miyuki. The river's just a short walk from the school, no more than 5 minutes. Being so close to the school, it was where the group usually hung out after practice. The air feels so cool today. I wish we could go out here to practice more often. It's the perfect temperature, actually. Not too cold, not too warm. By the way, our stage costumes have arrived. Did you see them? Did they? How exciting! They shared some images on Trend Talk. Looks beautiful. Pei takes out her phone to check. Oh wow! It's beautiful! They even added wings on it! Elegant, right? Cuter than I imagined. I can't wait to try it. After an hour, the girls parted ways and went home. However, Mei never made it home. It was 10:53 p.m. when her parents filed a missing persons report. We sent a few of our guys over immediately. They arrived at 11:21 p.m, but she was nowhere to be found. That was when we sent out a larger search party. Over 100 people joined the search, but they found nothing. Not even a single witness. We looked around, everywhere on her route home, even had a chopper up, but she was nowhere to be found. It's like she disappeared into thin air. Have you had divers in the river? Because, morbid, but that is an option. It kind of feels like the only options now are kidnapping or she fell in the river. Neither of which are good. I had a cold feeling in my stomach. Can we rule out a runaway or an accident? Probably. I'd bet if it were an accident, the search team would have located her by now. Then that leaves... Tatsuya's gaze was grim as he nodded, flipping through pages. However, there's been no ransom call, no signs of a struggle, no nothing. Ah, that's quite unusual for a search party to turn up so little. Tell me about it. Tatsuya sighed, leaning back in his chair. But plenty of people are working on the case. Something's got to give soon. Guess I've got some digging to do then. You most certainly do. Good luck. Something tells me this case will be more trouble than we hoped for. A text message? I glanced down at my phone. Speak of the devil, it was Eiji. Miyako, can't show up today. At the hospital right now. Looks like I'll be getting cut open, so I'll be off the grid for a while. Don't worry about me, just take care of the office while I'm gone. If I don't wake up, it's all yours. Speaking of morbid, I felt a chill down my spine. He's hospitalized. That's not good. But I can't say it came as a surprise considering his drinking habits. Stay strong, Eiji. I'll visit you later. For now, I have a job to do. I arrived at Yokohama Arts. The place was eerily quiet. Notices were plastered all over the place, pleading anyone to come forward with information. The whole place was permeated with concern and unease. I then saw some police officers on duty, even a few faces I recognized. A stern voice from behind interrupts my thoughts. "Excuse me, who are you?" I turned around to see a tall, overbearing man in his 50s. A gold nameplate on his lapel reads Principal Ito. "I'm Detective Miyako, here to assist the investigation." "You're a detective? No one told me this." "I'm sorry, it was last minute." "All right, come with me and we'll get you sorted out." After some thorough checks, I was permitted to investigate the school. Principal Ito directed me to the idol manager, Mr. Kazuhito Tanaka, who was in charge of the Luminaries. He would provide me with the information I needed, although his class might be busy. "You're a detective, huh? I wouldn't have guessed it. You're quite young." As Principal Ito mentioned, I'm Kazuhiko Tanaka, the head of music. What can I do for you? Are you free to answer a few questions about Mei's disappearance? Actually, we're in the middle of something important. Can't you get the information from the police who you've just spoken to? No, from the police who've just spoken to us. I'm a private detective. I'm here to approach things from a different angle. I see. Given the importance of this case, I'll make an exception. Thank you. Let me jump straight to it. Firstly, I'd like to ask about... Ooh. How does this work? Wait, double click. It would help if I read the instructions. Double click to select an item. Let's talk about Mei. I've already asked her parents this, but I'll ask you again just in case. Do you know if Mei had any enemies or grudges? No. Who could have a grudge against such a sweet girl? You tell me. She's one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. She's the type of person that goes out of her way to help others and bring joy. I'll be shocked if this was because of a grudge. Then, if not grudges, what about relationships? Was she in any? As far as I'm concerned, no. There is one caveat, though. We do tell the idols to keep their dating life a secret. Other agencies forbid it entirely. Perhaps she's hiding it. Idols can't be allowed to be seen in public with their partner, right? Precisely. Although most people won't care, they'll lose their hardcore fanbase if they do. Alright. What about Miyuki? Where's Miyuki? I'd like to ask her some questions. Miyuki is doing a test right now. It's best if you come back later. I see. Unfortunate timing. And the concert date. As I've been told, the concert date is approaching. What's going to happen if Mei doesn't return? things are still up in the air. Let's hope it doesn't get to that. But to answer your question, the event might get cancelled, or we might get a replacement. I don't call the shots, though. That's up to the CEO. Alright, your alibi, sir. As AG once said, words can lie, but the body never does, especially under pressure. I carefully eyed his facial expressions and body language. Yesterday at 10 p.m, where were you? Are you suspecting me? Just trying to rule you out. I don't appreciate being a suspect, but I went straight home after teaching. My wife can attest to that. Nothing in his body language showed signs of guilt or dishonesty. Either he's telling the truth, or this man's good at lying. Good to know you're innocent. Kazuhiko Tanaka has been added to the case files. Right. Hidden intentions. Can anyone stand to gain anything from May's disappearance? No, it's not like May had any money or fame. Who could stand to gain anything? Please try and think carefully. Any crazy fans or stalkers? Maybe competitors that will benefit from the group failing? Now that you mention it, there might be something. A group called Parade. They're performing on the same weekend as us. Parade has been added to the case files. Well, let's ask about them. Parade. Not into idol culture, are you? They're a popular upcoming idol band. I should mention they've been known to use some underhanded tactics as well. Underhanded tactics. Yeah, they've been known to use their connections to control the media. Sometimes they'll spread false rumours about idols to sabotage a competitor. Don't ask me how I know. So you're suggesting Parade might have something to do with May's disappearance? Absolutely not. Even though they may be a corrupt company, it's still a stretch to jump to that conclusion. But do feel free to look into them, especially the CEO of Parade, Hiroshi Yamada. You'll see what I mean. Hiroshi Yamada. The CEO of Parade, allegedly involved in many underhanded tactics, including sabotaging competitors and controlling the media. Lead obtained. Leads are special clues which you can investigate further by visiting the office during your free time. Pursuing leads is crucial to your investigation. Thanks for your help. I'll be in touch if I need anything else. Of course, Detective Koike. I hope May is found soon. Looks like I got everything I need from here. The next steps are to talk to her classmates and find out more about Hiroshi. As soon as I stepped outside, I was stopped in my tracks by one of the students. It seemed she wanted to say something, but instead handed me a note. Before I could even read it, she rushed back inside. So she's Miyuki. Good, but why the late meeting time? No problem, I can tackle another lead in the meantime. For now, I'll try investigating Hiroshi Yamada, the CEO of... Detective, we found something. An officer yells from the other side of the hallway. Huh? What is it? Come and see. A group of officers gathered around what looks like a notebook. Their expressions were a mix of surprise and grim. Whatever they had found wasn't good. The officer took a few torn pages from the notebook and showed them to me. "We found these hidden inside one of her textbooks. It seems like she was trying to keep them a secret." There were 3 pages in total. Each one of them had a line on them, a death threat. Note 1, "I'm going to end you." Note 2, "Soon you'll pay the price of fame." Note 3, "Your songs may fill the air, but soon they'll come back to haunt you." My eyes were fixated on the notes as I tried to decipher what they meant. Someone wanted her dead? Who could it be? I looked up at the officer who gave me the note. "It could have just been from some crazy fans. You know how it is these days." Why keep these hidden, though? I would have just discarded them if it was just a crazy fan. "Good point. Something doesn't add up. Maybe the forensics will be able to analyze it." Please let me know if anything comes up. For now, I'm going to continue my investigation. "Will do. I hope you find something soon." So, we have death threats now. Normally, this would be my lunch break, but with such a time-sensitive case, I couldn't afford to waste valuable time. With some hours before our appointment with Miyuki, I headed back to Hoshiko Agency to continue my research. During free time events, you can choose where to spend your time. By visiting Hoshiko Agency, you can further research the case by investigating your collected leads. Only 1 lead can be investigated per free time event, although that can change with higher intelligence levels. Ooh. Select the lead to investigate. Well, we only have one thing under our lead section, which is Hiroshi Yamada. I decided to look into Hiroshi Yamada and Parade, a lead that the police aren't investigating. I leaned back on my chair and pulled up articles, blogs, and discussion threads about Parade and their CEO. A few rumours were circulating online suggesting that before establishing Parade HQ, Hiroshi had been involved with an underground group tied to crime and illegal business deals. Several lawsuits were filed against Parade HQ, and 2 allegations stood out. 1, unfair contract prices. Nope, practices. 1, unfair contract practices. And 2, whoops, I missed the 2 part. Hey! Scrolling up did take me back. Useful. 2 embezzled funds. However, both cases were dismissed due to lack of evidence. Hiroshi had a spotless clean record. I decided to look elsewhere. After searching for a while, I found an old newspaper clipping that caught my eye. It was about a young idol, Haruka, who was a former member of Parade. She had been one of Parade's most promising stars, but she suddenly disappeared and retired before her concert. The official statement cited mental health concerns. Whatever was going on, Hiroshi's record was spotless despite several accusations against him. Ain't a surprise he's got people gunning for him. But there remained a lot of questions to be answered. I closed my eyes. That's enough research for today. Intellect increased. Sanity decreased. Before heading out, I made a call to Parade HQ and tried booking an appointment with Hiroshi. A clerk picked up on the other end, but he told me Hiroshi is out for business and didn't mention when he'd be back. I told them the case was urgent and for them to call me back as soon as Hiroshi returns. I arrived back at Yokohama Arts. It didn't take me long to find Miyuki, standing alone by the school gates. I scanned the place, but it seemed everyone else had already left. Sorry to keep you waiting, Miyuki. Oh, there you are. I'm glad you came on time. You normally stay back this late? No, not normally, but we've been busy rehearsing for the upcoming concert. I see. Busy schedule, huh? You want to find a better place to talk first? Sure, let's go somewhere livelier. We headed down the road and stopped on the sidewalk of Gintama Upper City. Despite her calm demeanor, I noticed her breathing patterns looked rapid and shallow. Something was on her mind. Something on your mind? You wouldn't call a detective out here just for fun, would you? Maybe I would. Who knows? What is it you want to talk about? There's two things. First, I noticed something unusual about May's behavior, and then there's this note I found in her bedroom. Okay, what unusual behavior? Over the past week, May has been acting strangely. She'd always be looking over her shoulder and avoiding quiet places. Looking back, she must have been fearful of something. I wonder if she knew something was going to happen. May was acting paranoid? Perhaps this could be due to the death threats. We found May was receiving death threats from an unknown source. Do you have any idea who would have sent her them? Death threats? Who would send her that? You were close to her. Did you know anyone who might have had a grudge on her? I see her every day, and I've never even seen anyone who remotely dislikes her. May was the sweetest person you'll ever meet. That's why this is all so shocking. Was she involved in any relationships? Not at all. What if she was hiding it? Mr. Tanaka told me idols had to keep their dating life a secret. They have to keep it a secret from him and other people, but not me. I'm her friend and I'd know everything. Besides, she's too busy to even meet new people. Alright, what note did you find? I found a note in May's bedroom. It was inside one of her books and the police might have overlooked it. Miyuki holds out a page with a code on it. IEN-SKMUS 5005. IEN. I wonder if that's... It's like for books it's ISBN, but actually that might only be here. That might be in other... That might not be in other countries. Although MUS, I guess it's some kind of music? Maybe? No. Well, according to Google, it's a imported goods entry number, but that's just here, so that doesn't help me. I have no clue what it means, though. Maybe you can figure it out? ENSKMUS 5005. Does it look like anything else if I put it upside down? What is this? Some secret code? It could be 1,000 possibilities, but there's no way to pinpoint exactly what it could be. Did May write this? Yeah, it doesn't make any more sense upside down, does it, Drag? Thank you. Upside down or backwards. It feels like it's gotta be a reference for something. Do CDs have a thing like books do? I would look, but I don't think I have any in easy reach in here. Okay. Did May write this? It certainly looks like her handwriting. Mysterious note has been added to the case files. Alright, and just about the IDOL program. What's the IDOL program that your school has? I've never heard of one. It's called the Talent Cultivation Program. Kirameki Entertainment recently introduced it to our school. We're the best art school in the country, and they wanted to find and nurture talent here. Kirameki Entertainment. Who are they? They're our agency. They're responsible for funding our whole program, including our salary. You're getting a salary? Only a small one, but they pay for everything. Our weekly allowance, training sessions, makeup, stylists, clothes, food, water. Ah, I didn't know trainees got paid. Sounds pretty cool, right? And there's a catch though. If we debut and become popular, we'll have to pay everything back to them. That sounds more like a loan. Yeah, yeah, it does. You can think of it that way, but I think of it more like an investment. If we fail, they lose the money, but if we succeed, we split the profit. So, who exactly are investing in this? Who are the owners? I'm not sure how much I can say. Will you keep everything here a secret? Only if it doesn't end up being relevant to the case. Everything will be kept confidential. Okay. Yuki Nakamura is the CEO. She's the one who gave us our contracts and pays us. She's the main investor in the company. Then there's Jin Inoue, who's an ex-idol. I'm not exactly sure what his role is. Lastly is Mr. Tanaka, our teacher. His primary role is as a producer. Didn't know he was part of it too, but that makes sense. Kirameki Entertainment, the agency behind Luminaries. The owners are Yumi Nakamura, the main investor, Jin Inoue, an ex-idol, and Mr. Tanaka, music teacher and producer. The company has been funding the trainees' salaries. So that is a lead that we can investigate later. Miyuki, can you please walk me through what happened last night when you were with May at the river? That night... Miyuki's voice wavered as she began. Her normally calm and collected demeanour had partially dissolved. I kept replaying it over and over in my mind, and each time it just doesn't make sense. She bit her lower lip. I should have seen that something was wrong. May was my friend, how did I miss such obvious signs? In hindsight, it's obvious, but you couldn't have known what was about to happen. You can't blame yourself. As the group leader, it was my responsibility to look after everyone, to make sure they were okay. I was so caught up in rehearsals and the debut, I didn't notice. I should have seen that she was struggling. Did anything strange happen that night? Miyuki nods. When we were talking about our idol costumes, she took out her phone. That was when I noticed the money in her bag. There was at least 5,000 yen in there. $300 in brackets. Did I say 5,000? I feel like I said 5,000. 50,000. It may not seem like much, but that's a lot for her. I have no idea why she was carrying it, though. But we talked for a while more before going home. You know the rest. Thank you for sharing the story. I just have one question. May seems like the type to help people. Say a stranger comes up and asks her for help, would she do it? May was kind, but she wasn't gullible. There's a 0% chance she would have gone with a stranger in the middle of the night, especially without calling her parents. Once again, Drag. Wow, the yen is weak on the pound right now. I need to do some shopping. Then, if it wasn't a stranger, could it be someone close to her? Someone close to her? Like who? You know her better than anyone else. Was there anyone she trusted that she might have went with? Apart from her family, there's only us, her friends, whom she trusts. I don't think there's anyone else. Then how did she disappear without a trace? Just keep an eye out for anything unusual, okay? That's all the questions I have for you. Oh, wait a minute. Can I also ask you something? Sure, go ahead. I can't shake the feeling that something horrible has happened to May. Can you please be honest with me? What do you think happened? What are the chances we'll be able to see her again? Should I tell her the truth about the survival statistics of a missing person? I think we should tell her the truth. Let's be honest with the girl. She'll probably appreciate that. More than us just being nice about it, right? The longer the case goes on, the less likely May is still alive. In the first 24 hours, there's an 85% chance of survival. After 48 hours, it's 50%. Then after 72 hours, it drops to 10%. I see. Thanks for the honesty. That sounded like she did in fact appreciate that. Let's go look at the relationships section. Whoops. Yeah. Trust factor, 2 out of 10. I don't know what it was beforehand, but I mean, I imagine it was low. The teacher doesn't have much trust with us. Mr. Policeman, 3 out of 10. Let's check our evidence for now. So, Maze has been updated. She was the careful type not to go off with strangers and would tell her parents where she was going. Mysterious note with the code on it. Kirameki Entertainment. We already read this. At the end of the day, those are just numbers and every case is different. All we can do is hold our hopes high. Did you find anything out yet? Any leads? Any suspects? Slow down, Miyuki. We're still gathering evidence. It's too early to conclude anything. Sorry. Anyways, thanks for going out of your way to do this. I know you're in a tough spot, but don't give up hope, okay? Thank you. I'll remain positive for her. If you remember anything, just give us a call. Have a good night. Same to you. Miyuki leaves. It's time to call it a day here. I just realized I haven't eaten today. Health decreased. Guess I'll pay Starlight Sip a visit. I entered Starlight Sip. Yuki doesn't appear to be around, probably upstairs. I took a seat at my usual spot near the window, gazing at the city lights. It was the perfect atmosphere to reflect on the case. Well, 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 if it isn't my favourite trouble magnet. Good timing, Yuki. I have some questions for you. Oh, you got yourself a new case. What's the scoop this time? You don't need me to tell you, it's all over the news. Huh? You know I don't watch the news. It's nothing but brainwash. Fair point. Well, the gist of it is, a girl went missing on her way home yesterday. They sent out a large search party but found nothing. A missing person? That's quite serious. I pulled out my phone and showed Yuki her picture. You get a lot of customers here. Maybe you've seen her before. Let's see. You know her? Yes, that's May. She's the one missing. How in the world do you know her? She comes here with her group of friends. Not often, but we have spoken. So I am assuming this isn't a bar then. Unless these idle trainees are older than I think they are, which might also be true. She seems like a nice girl who's very passionate about her music. She jokingly said that when she becomes famous, she'll buy our most expensive drink. Last time she came here was a few weeks ago, but she wasn't with her usual friends. Instead, she was with some guy I didn't recognize. They reserved a VIP room upstairs. Oh? Did they now? Wait, some guy? Yuki, do you know who this guy was? Unfortunately, no. We didn't check his ID. What about surveillance footage? You got that? Yeah, luckily, even the VIP rooms are monitored. Although I don't remember the date they came in, so it's going to be a hassle figuring out that... No, so it's going to be a hassle finding that moment. Can you please find it? It's important. Well, if it's important, then how can I refuse? And I'll find it tonight, okay? Thanks, Yuki. You legend. Let's not celebrate too early yet. We don't know if this is the guy responsible for her disappearance. True. Or whether she's even alive. We can only cross our fingers. Let's go check our new evidence. Starlight Sip, a bar run by my friend Yuki. May is usually seen with her friends from school here. I'm getting the feeling that I am thinking of a different age range when I'm being told that these idols are in school. Maybe this is a college. Maybe this is a university. Maybe these kids are old enough to drink. And Yuki Hirota, my friend since high school who now runs Starlight Sip. Apparently he spotted May with another man a few weeks before her disappearance. Yeah, they did have the sailor uniforms, which I think is also throwing me off. Maybe they're idol costumes rather than school uniforms. Who knows? Not me. So, I'm guessing we're in Miyuki mode, given her silhouette here. So, the city's never felt more cold. Miyuki stood there helplessly as the world moved on, everyone indifferent to May's disappearance. She couldn't bear the thought of her friend never returning. She wanted to cut out all negative thoughts, but she knew it was a very real possibility. Everything I've worked on for the past 10 years, all our time spent together, would be meaningless if May doesn't return. There's no fucking way I'd let that happen, she swore under her breath. She couldn't afford to lose May. She had to find her, at any cost. But everything she did seemed futile. The only people who could make a difference were the police and detectives. Miyuki wandered aimlessly, her thoughts scattered across the city lights. She began humming the tune of her harmony hearts in her head. The darkest nights breathe the brightest stars. Her songs always gave her a feeling of hope. Even though everything seemed futile, she knew it was an unhealthy way of thinking. I should be focusing on ways I can help her. What should I do? Go around asking strangers? Putting up flyers? Any effort should help, right? No. If the police can't obtain any information, I certainly won't be able to. I can't take the brute force approach. I need to think of a smarter plan. Why was May acting paranoid? Was it really from the death threats? And most importantly, why didn't she tell me? Suddenly, a thought came to mind. I may not be the most influential figure, but there was one group that helped me out before. A group that had millions of fans. Harmony Hearts. If I ask them, maybe we can rally the public to aid our search, and if we're lucky... Before she could finish her thought, she started feeling lightheaded. The world around her felt unsteady. Even the stimulants were wearing off. It was her body telling her it was time to rest. This was where she used to go to feed the fish. She loved going here so much. I never understood why, but apparently it was a way to take her mind off of training. But now I get it. I threw some food into the water, and fish immediately swarmed around. A strange mix of feelings bottled up inside of me. Feelings of peace, nostalgia, calmness mixed with the jarring ice-cold water. It was enough to keep you on edge, but also felt reassuring in some way, almost like putting ice on a wound to numb the pain. This wouldn't be a bad place to dump a body. A thought suddenly crept into my mind. A deserted... Oh, right. We're in kidnapper mode at the moment. A deserted place at night. If I kill her now and toss her corpse into the water, very likely no one will notice it until morning, after her body is submerged overnight. It would feel almost too easy, but no, this place was too sacred for that. I took a deep breath and let the thought pass as I threw the last remaining pieces of food into the water. April 4th. I decided to visit Yokohama Arts. My goal was simple: figure out who May was seen with. Hopefully someone here will know. It looks like classes haven't started yet. I strolled right in, ignoring the fact I stood out like a sore thumb. Over by the benches, I saw Miyuki talking with her friend. You reached out to them? That's right. I've been following them since they were still up and coming. We briefly talked, but I still didn't expect them to repost our message. Hello. Sorry to interrupt. Mind if I have a few minutes? Who are you? Oh, she's the detective I was talking about earlier. I see. Detective Miyako Koike. Nice to meet you. I am Akane Asagiri, bassist of the Luminaries. What is it that you need? Akane, you mind staying for a few questions? I don't mind, but we have classes in 5 minutes. No problem. This shouldn't take long. I wanted to ask if you happen to know if May had any male acquaintances. In particular, someone she'd hang out with outside of school? Outside of school? They looked at each other, puzzled. Haven't heard of anybody. Me neither. What about family or relatives? I haven't met them, if they exist. Although I'm positive May would tell us about it. She always told us stories about her personal life. Yeah, she'd give me an earful about her stories after school. Even mundane things like what she'd had for breakfast or how long she studied. There's no way she'd have left that out. Right. So you're saying if she hangs out with someone, she'd tell you about it? Yeah, most definitely. So, who was the person Yuki saw? Did he confuse someone else for May? Couldn't be. As mundane as it was, I do kind of miss May's yapping. I received a call from Yuki. Could he have some news? Excuse me for a moment. Hey, what's up? Heyo, I've got some great news. The footage is ready. Want me to send it over? Awesome. Could you send it to my phone? Of course. Just one moment. There, you should have it now. I spent all night looking for that, so I hope it helps. You're the best. Thanks. My pleasure. Take care. Couldn't have asked for better timing. Let's confirm if it was indeed May in the footage. A low-res grayscale surveillance video started playing. I had to bring my phone closer to my eyes to see the details. Huh? The tape clearly showed May with her signature hairstyle and flower, but sitting across from her was a man. He looked older than May, perhaps in his early or mid-20s? More importantly, they looked kinda close. Just who was he? Oh shit, I lost track of time. I'd better hurry and get back to Miyuki and Akane before they go. Surveillance footage has been added to the case files. Hey, sorry for the interruption. Before you go, can I ask one final question? Sure, go ahead. We have some surveillance footage. I want you to have a look and see if you can identify this man. I showed them the footage. Huh? Is that Takashi Sato? What on earth? Why is my phone... Kazuhiko's phone was vibrating furiously as if it was about to explode. There were thousands of notifications, but from where? For some reason, the Luminaries account just skyrocketed in popularity overnight. He quickly called management to find out why. What's happening? Are you seeing these numbers? Yeah, it seems like Harmony Hearts reposted our message, and the news went viral overnight. Harmony Hearts? More witnesses have come forward, and we've even had some private investigators contact us to help out. The public is now rallying behind us to find May. That's excellent news. Let's hope she's found soon. Oh, and let's prepare for the worst case scenario. You know, just in case. Prepare? How? I say have a replacement ready, or prepare a recording with her part. I trust you to find a solution. Are you serious? Do you not see these numbers? We shouldn't allow our emotions to get in the way of business. Cancelling the show won't change May's fate. You're not wrong, but we need to tread carefully. The public might perceive us as heartless for continuing the show. It's simple. We organise a charity event, raise some funds for May's family, and add to the search efforts. A large percentage of sales will go to finding May. We'll look like the good guys. I see. We might take a hit on the first show, but if all goes well, we'll stand to gain a significant profit on the later ones. You seem to have it all figured out. Alright, I'll figure something out on my end, but I hope we don't have to go there. I agree, it's too soon to assume the worst. Takashi Sato? Who's that? We need to find him right away. Wait, hold on. We don't even know if he's responsible yet. You're not familiar with the industry, are you? Takashi Sato is an idol from the group called Parade. Ah, Parade. Parade. The one Mr. Tanaka was talking about earlier? What the hell was May doing with someone from Parade? This is definitely something worth looking into. Takashi Sato, the person seen with May at Starlight Sip. That's a lead. Clue updated surveillance footage. What kind of group is Parade? Are they a boys group? No, they're a co-ed group. One of the few successful ones. They only started getting famous in the past few years. I believe Takeshi is the leader of the group. Any idea where I can find him? Akane shakes her head. They've likely got personal security with them. It'll be hard to reach them. But May did it. I'll see if I can call them again to book a meeting or something. I'm going to look for him. Thanks for your help. Be careful. If May was involved with Takashi, it could be more complicated than we think. I hope you find her safe and sound. In the end, I decided it would be better to meet them in person, as there were important questions that needed to be asked. Locating Parade HQ wasn't difficult. However, the trip there was quite time-consuming. The place was very well maintained. There was not even a speck of dust on the wall or floor. Behind the desk were 2 monitors, but only one person was there. The clerk looked to be in his mid-30s. I walked up and introduced myself. Good afternoon. Hello. May I help you with something? I'm a detective from Hoshiko Agency. We're looking to speak to Takashi Sato. Is he available? A detective? What did Takeshi do? He's not in trouble or anything, I just have a few questions. Oh, I see. Well, unfortunately, he's not around. He's not? Well, what about the CEO? Is he around? What kind of person is Mr. Yamada? Exactly what you'd expect from a CEO. I heard he's been involved in some lawsuits. Asking the dangerous questions right off the bat, huh? We can't talk about that. The clerk seemed hesitant about something. Alright. What about Takeshi? So, where is he? I wish I knew. He's been skipping classes even though there's a concert coming up. The instructor wanted him in today, but he just wouldn't listen. Is he normally like that? No, he's usually a very well-behaved kid. Something's gotten into him. What do you think it is? I don't know. Maybe the fame got to him? No, actually, I did hear he's been dealing with some serious mental health struggles, so maybe that's it. What kind of struggles? I don't know the details, sorry. Alright. Can we confirm that he's the guy on the surveillance footage? So, the reason I'm asking for Takeshi is because he's involved in another case. You heard about the Mei Ayano case? Mei Ayano? The missing girl? Takeshi is really involved in that? Maybe. Do you have any idea how they might have met? This is the first time I'm even hearing of it. Luminaries is a small-time group compared to Parade, so I wouldn't expect them to know each other, but I guess circles can overlap. I'd like to book an appointment with Takashi Sato as soon as possible, please. Sorry, I can't do that. Normally, you'd have to go through the manager first before you can book an appointment with the idols. And I doubt the manager would be happy with them speaking to a detective. Can you make an exception? This is urgent. I don't make the rules. Sorry. However, since the life is on the line, I'll ask Takeshi to speak with you personally when he returns. How about that? That'd be great. Thank you. No worries. Is there anything else? Nope. Have a good day. You too. It's nearly break time. I just realized I've been skipping my meals a lot recently. Health decreased. No, you need to eat, detective. How else will you fuel your brain? What should I do? Should I visit Starlight Sip, or should I continue working on the case? During free time events, you can choose to continue working on the case by visiting your office. Alternatively, you can spend your free time at one of the leisurely spots, such as Starlight Sip. So what is my health like right now? Okay. I mean, assuming it started at the same level as personality here, that health decrease isn't too bad. Like, you can tell it's... Yeah, like, sanity's a step back from what I assume is default up here. Intelligence is a step up. And health is like 2 steps down. Yeah, I was worried it was going to be a significant difference. So we are absolutely continuing working on the case. I decided to continue working on the case. There's a few leads that I need to look into. When you visit Hoshiko Agency, you're allowed to choose which leads to investigate further. You can only investigate 1 lead per free time event, however having higher intelligence may allow you to investigate more. Investigating certain leads may lead to important discoveries. I took a quick puff from my cig, smoke curling around me. I exhaled slowly, eyes narrowing. What's on the agenda today? So we can either investigate Kirameki Entertainment, or we can investigate Takashi Sato. I mean, we do potentially have an in with him soon, but that does require him to turn up and also agree to it. It might be useful to have a background on him, I think. Ooh. For a second, I thought the stream was upset, but they think it's okay. I did the little buffering circle on my preview. But it's not telling me there's anything wrong, so... yeah, let's see if we can get some background on the guy. I decided to do some research on Takashi Sato, the idol from Parade who was seen with Mei at Yuki's bar. I leaned back in my chair, my gaze intent on the computer screen as I scrolled through dozens of articles, social media posts, and fan forums about Parade's Takashi Sato. Takashi was the leader of Parade who was extremely popular due to his life story. Coming from a place of poverty and abuse, he was able to overcome his past and become an idol. In various interviews, he mentioned how music and becoming an idol changed his life. Although there wasn't much information about his artistic background and how he became so popular. Online discussions speculate that before his rise to stardom, Takashi was a troubled kid who engaged in drugs, active bullying, and delinquent activities. He was also involved in many street fights. I dug deeper, trying to find official records that supported his past. However, there was nothing concrete. Only an interview published by Parade where Takashi talked about his difficult past and place of poverty, but nothing about drugs, bullying, or street fights. It seems like these were just rumours, but it would be near impossible to trace the source of them. I wonder where they originated. Regardless, Takashi's transformation seems a bit too good to be true. I wonder if there was more to the story. Attained evidence of Takashi's past. I still have a lot to learn about Takashi's background, but that's enough research for today. I closed my eyes. Intellect increased. Sanity decreased. It's been 2 whole days since Mei disappeared, and we still have yet to make significant progress. Things were starting to look grim, but I wasn't ready to give up yet. As a final effort for the day, I visited the place she was last seen. The Moon River was a brief walk south of the school. The journey she took home was a short walk. I should retrace her steps to get a clearer picture. I began making my way to Fukaze Gardens. All of a sudden, I heard a voice behind me. Miyuki, maybe? Detective? Oh, Miyuki. I wasn't expecting company here. Are you out investigating? I'm just wrapping up for today. I see. It is getting late. I glanced down at the time. 10:29 p.m. Why are you still out, kid? Shouldn't you be at home? I'm rehearsing for the concert. Out here? Helps keep my mind off of everything. Aren't you worried about the culprit? Yeah. At first I was. But then I realized, why live in fear for the rest of your life? As idols, we're risk takers. And being out here dancing under the stars, it's what keeps me going. I may look weak, but I won't go down without a fight. Quit joking around. It's a dangerous matter. I can't tell you how to act, but I suggest staying home. At least until we find out who's responsible. Of course, you are 100% right. However, I can't slack off on practice when we have a concert coming up. You see, I can't practice at home because my father works at the factory and has to get up early. This is the only place for me. Not that I mind. Can't you practice in the mornings? Already do. I'm usually up at 6. You need to go to bed, young lady. It's 10:30. You get up at 6. That is less than 8 hours away. Go to bed. Idle life seems demanding. Tell me about it. That's the life of an idle trainee trying to balance idle work with school. It'll be fine though. Sayori and Akane usually keep me company. They're just busy today. Well, it's certainly safer to have company. Having a detective drop by each day wouldn't be so bad either. Did you see May go this way the last time you saw her? Yeah, her house is just across the river. Can you show me the way? Sure. We headed down the path to May's house. When we reached the sidewalk, I started to wonder, where could the kidnapping have occurred? It certainly couldn't have been here. Too many people around. One scream would alert everybody. The park was a possibility with fewer strangers, but again, committing a crime in a public location was still a risk. Finally, we reached a quiet neighborhood just before the bridge. To pull off the kidnapping, there must be 2 steps: subduing the victim and transporting them away. I also noticed several surveillance cameras monitoring the streets. The possibility here was slim. No evidence of a struggle, and a single scream would alert the whole neighborhood. Yeah, but... while the neighborhood would potentially hear it, is anyone going to pay attention? Which I know sounds really bad, but it's like, I remember back when I was a kid, I was riding my bicycle around my local area, and I hit a part where a root had lifted up the pavement, and the bike fell over, and I got trapped halfway underneath it, and I couldn't move. And the amount of screaming I had to do to get someone to come out of the house to help me, truly ridiculous. The lady who came out to help eventually said she thought it was just kids playing, which admittedly, kids playing do make those kinds of noises. But you know, just to bring up an anecdote from my own life as to how potentially no one would actually care. Um, although maybe at that time of night, maybe they're less likely to think it's just kids playing. I don't know. But just where could the crime have occurred? And by the way, did you also manage to get hold of Takeshi yet? Unfortunately, no. He's been elusive. How unfortunate. It's so strange he was involved with May. Tomorrow, I'll be able to focus my efforts on finding him. If it helps, I did some idle research on his history and where he might be. Want to see it? Sure, that could be useful. I need to go back to school to get it. Isn't it closed? Who needs keys when we have a perfectly climbable fence? Yeah, but don't you need keys to get into the building? Yeah, that's trespassing, girl. Eh, I'm not the police. I'm not the police. Who needs keys when windows might be left open? Fine, I'll let it slide and pretend I didn't see anything. But I'm not going in, though. The last thing I need is to be caught trespassing on school grounds with an idol. That'd be a disaster. So I'm guessing that our trust factor... Ooh, it's gone up to 4. We get 2 points out of every one of those little card things. Akane doesn't trust us. Absolutely. Wouldn't want you to get into any unnecessary trouble. I'll keep watch. You go. Miyuki nods, then disappears into the school. I doubt anyone was around, but just in case, I pull out my phone and pretend to be a bystander. Being empty, it would seem even more strange if someone was standing outside of a school like this. This would be a good time to text May's parents. I've been sending them periodic wow, words. I've been sending them periodic Why can't I say those 2 words together? I've been sending them periodic Why is that such a problem? Periodic updates. I began writing out the summary of today's investigation. 5 minutes had passed. Miyuki still hadn't returned. What's taking her so long? Oh no, please tell me she's not going to go missing too. Because this would definitely feel like my fault at this point. It's starting to rain. Damn it, I'll catch a cold if I stand out here for too long. To heck with it, I'm going in. If I get caught, so be it. I looked around to make sure nobody was looking, then jumped the fence. Wait, where did Miyuki go? I should have asked her. Whatever, I just need to find shelter before the rain gets worse. I dashed to the front entry, but it was locked. Just my luck. Passerbys might see me if I stay here. Just where did that girl go? Everything seems to be locked. All of a sudden, I heard a faint sound. Huh? It's coming from that direction. I headed there to investigate. Wait, was that music? Or are my ears mistaken? It was a very faint sound, barely audible through the rain. Followed the direction of the sound, leading to a large building. The sign reads Auditorium. It sounded like someone was performing inside, but isn't the school meant to be closed? Was there a late class or something? No, that can't be. It's way too late. Strangely, none of the lights were turned on. Anyone in there? No response. Hello? Miyuki? Once again, silence, as if the auditorium was holding its breath. It was pointless standing outside in the rain, so I might as well go in. It was pitch black inside, but doesn't look like anyone's here. Although for some reason, the speakers were blasting some music. Perhaps someone forgot to turn it off? At least I can stay here until the rain subsides. Guess I'll have to wait for Miyuki as well. Ah yes, Miyuki, who has no idea where we are now. I've worked at Hoshiko Agency full-time for 4 years now. I've dealt with all kinds of cases: insurance fraud, infidelity, homicides, thefts, cybercrime. As detectives, we've become insensitized to most of that stuff. However, every now and then, a case pops up that still surprises us. It's very rare because it takes a special kind of special to shake us, but it does happen. However, never in my wildest imagination did I anticipate the scene that unfolded before my very eyes that night. Detective Hoshiko always said, "The crime scene is a window into the perpetrator's twisted soul." Well, I certainly got a glimpse into that night. I certainly got a glimpse into it that night. No, Miyuki! No! Oh, nope, that's May. That's May, right? And that's the idol costume. Because they said it had wings. My blood turned to ice. What the hell did I just walk into? A scream of pure horror lodged itself in my throat. May's lifeless form hung grotesquely in the center of the stage, dangling from a rope. She was hauntingly lit by the moon, casting an ethereal glow over her idol outfit. Was this some kind of joke? There's no way she's... Hey! Hey! May! Say something! It was no use. It felt like I was yelling into a void. Suddenly I heard footsteps behind me. Someone's here? Then it dawned on me. She was here too. Was that her? An eerie sense of dread washed over me. I can't let her see it. A detective? What's going on? What's with all the ruckus? Someone's gonna hear us. Oh my god. Is this for real? I was lost for words. This was a sight that will haunt her forever. Something I know too well. For a moment, it felt like we were frozen in time. I snapped back to reality and did the first thing that popped up in my mind. Get her out ASAP. Don't look anymore. Are you okay? She was unresponsive, frozen and lifeless. Let's go. Stay here, okay? I'm going to check on her. Call the cops if you can. Oh, we are totally getting done for trespassing, since we have to call the cops about this. I went back inside, hoping for a miracle. Just this one time. As I approached her body, I began to smell a very familiar odour. A smell I've experienced countless times before. The smell of death. A smell I'll never forget. I didn't even need to check to know, but I did so anyway. I placed my finger on her neck. She was ice cold. There was no pulse. What kind of twisted person would do this? Sanity greatly decreased. Oh boy. We will check that afterwards. I want to know how much it is greatly. How much is great? Oh shit! Greatly is the entire rest of the bar. Well, shit. The police arrived and transported Miyuki home. But for me, my work here was not yet done. May was gone, and the killer was still on the loose. Death is truly terrifying. It doesn't care about timing or fairness. It just takes and leaves us with the pieces to put together. The spotlight's on us now. We must find the monster behind this. May spent her life in the spotlight, only to meet her end in the shadow of her own fame. Final performance on the stage she loved, yet a performance she never agreed to. The spotlight's on us now. We must find the monster behind this. Oop, aha. Investigating time. Wings. Question was, when did the killer dress her up? Did they dress her up before bringing her here? It's a real pain in the ass trying to transport a body, especially with those damn wings flapping around. But if they dressed her up right here, then where's her other clothes, or? The culprit removed her school uniform and dressed her up in this idol costume. The outfit looked new with barely a crease on it. The wings look almost untouched. How the hell did they transport a body dressed up like this? And what was the sick purpose behind it? Could there be a sexual motive behind it? Or was this some sick game they're playing? Damned if I know. This case just keeps getting more messed up by the minute. Furthermore, is this the official idol costume or a replica? If it's the official one, how on earth did the killer manage to get their hands on it? It had to be a replica. No signs of external injuries or trauma. From a distance, one might think she was still alive, performing. What was the cause of death? Poisoning? How would the culprit even have poisoned her? An unsettling chill creeps down my spine. Need to inquire later about the forensic reports. Handcuffs? What's the point of doing all this? Looks like the handcuffs are fake toys. It'll be up to law enforcement to track down the origins of these handcuffs. Being fake, it's unlikely they'll find anything. Her guitar and all her personal belongings were also missing. Missing belongings added to the case file. Body, wings, handcuffs, body, strings. Her body was suspended by strings, like a marionette being manipulated by an unknown puppet master. Something like this would take a substantial amount of time and pre-planning to set up. Certainly a premeditated murder. Who's behind all of this? So we've checked the string. Face. In contrast to the vibrant pictures her parents sent, her face was now eerily placid in the cold grasp of death. The eyes that used to shine with dreams, now vacant. Oh, I guess we can look at the wings a second time. Huh. Wait, there was something stuck to her wings. It looked like a torn piece of paper or cardstock. The colour was bright and glossy. Officer, there's something on her wing. Got it. I'll notify the forensics team. A piece of cardstock was retrieved for analysis. There was no text on it, just colours. Okay. Oh. We can look at the body again. Rigor and liver mortis set. Bone cold with alga mortis, faint skin changes. Likely been deceased for over 16 hours. That's everything I could find on her body. We can only await forensic reports before drawing conclusions. Now I need to figure out, how did the culprit manage to get in here? It's time to shift my focus from May and instead take a closer look at this auditorium itself. Well, I mean, apparently it was unlocked. The doors. No sign of forced entry. The school forget to lock the place? I doubt it. It's possible the killer tampered with the lock somehow, but either way, forensics shall be able to analyze that. A haunting song was echoing through the auditorium. The culprit dedicated a lot of time and effort into orchestrating this scene, but why? They must have felt supremely confident that they weren't going to get caught. Also, like, how late does idol practice go? Like, how much potential time is there between... Well, I mean, I guess I don't know where in the school they practice. But if they were practicing in here, there's obviously a time gap between when that finishes and when we got here. It's like, do you have enough time to do all of this? Depends on how much time was available. This wasn't just a murder, it was a performance. A performance for their sick, twisted mind. Unfortunately for them, they probably aren't aware of audio forensics. A lot more information can be extracted from an audio file than they think. The windows? Yes, the windows. On closer inspection, it doesn't seem like these windows can open. There's no way the killer can enter through here. Auditorium crime scene has been added to the case files. It appears I've scoured every possible clue this place has to offer. The rest now falls into the hands of the authorities. I should head back and regroup. Tomorrow is going to be another long day. Prologue end. April 5th. Hey, we got more than the prologue here in the demo. That's cool. The morning light crept through my office window, awaking me from an uneasy slumber. It seems like I'd fallen asleep at some point. Last night had been a long one. I spent hours sifting through piles of paperwork, compiling reports for May's parents and the police. I just wanted to get it all done and dusted to put an end to this case. I mean, I assume we'll have some kind of a cliffhanger at the end of the demo track. Well, at the very least, we're going to have some unanswered questions. Probably a lot of unanswered questions. Though the official contract may have ended, I knew I couldn't just wash my hands of it. I'll continue working on it unofficially until the next client comes along. Yeah, I guess we were employed to find her. And we did in fact do that. In the grand scheme of things, we have very little control over the outcome. If the police couldn't find May, there was little that could have been done. I knew that from the very start when I accepted this contract. The true task for detectives was to bring closure to families. With the recovery of May's body, more clues may surface to guide us to the perpetrator. 5:44 a.m. Time to get moving. Ooh, that is early. Also, we have not got very much sleep. Because what, it must have been like 11 p.m. or so when we found the body. And then with all the investigating. So bright outside for 5 a.m. It's probably... No, wait, no. I was going to say it's probably summer, but it's April. This is clearly somewhere closer to the equator. And therefore longer days, right? I stepped into the police station and there was Tatsuya, just like always. Oh, hey Detective Miyako. You look tired. Long night, huh? Yeah, surviving on a few hours of sleep. It must be tough after what happened last night. I wasn't expecting to find a corpse in a damn school. Pretty messed up stuff. I wonder who would do such a thing. That's what I'm going to find out. Any updates on the case? Yeah, the initial forensics report is ready, so now we know the cause of death. Furthermore, there was a witness who mentioned seeing May. Oh? A witness, huh? Also, is our sanity still rock bottom? Oh, I can't actually look at that right now. Okay. Okay, I can't look at it during the choices. Yep, our sanity is still absolute rock bottom. Yesterday, a handful of witnesses came in, sparked by the story going viral on social media. A witness claimed to have seen May just a few days earlier, and they said she was at the cemetery at night. In particular, Akatsuki Cemetery. The cemetery. Who knows what she was doing there, but her parents told us that no family members or anyone close to May was buried there. So, you might want to check that out. The forensics report, okay, was it poison? Based on the initial examination and preliminary tests, we suspect May's cause of death to be from carbon monoxide poisoning. Okay, carbon monoxide poisoning. Not a fun way to go. Is anyway. Carbon monoxide poisoning. Quite the unusual murder weapon. It's insane. Carbon monoxide is odorless and colourless. That means it's an absolute bastard to detect. And if she was exposed to high levels of it, she could have been dying without even knowing. Furthermore, there were some injuries on her body. However, the forensics team believed they came from her training as an idol rather than the culprit. I'll forward the complete report to you in case you want to have a look. Thanks, Tatsuya. We haven't looked at her evidence in a while. So, a witness claims to have seen her at Akatsuki Cemetery at night a few days prior to the disappearance. We have the surveillance footage. The route home. May's route home. Moon River to Fuka Gardens Park. To city to quiet neighborhood to bridge to city home. There was no evidence of a struggle. Several surveillance cameras were installed in the quiet neighborhood. Idol costumes. May's body was dressed up in an idol costume. Was it official or fake? May's guitar and personal belongings were missing from the scene of the crime. Torn cardstock. No words on it, but it's bright and glossy. Auditorium crime scene, suspended by strings on the auditorium stage as music was playing through the speakers. When I arrived, the door was already open, and there was no signs of forced entry. Autopsy report. Nope, apparently estimated time of death is not in this autopsy report. Even though the case is over, if anything comes up, please let us know about it. Of course, Miyako. Good luck on the rest of the case. My damn eyes felt dry and my brain was barely functioning. I should really catch up on sleep. Tomorrow's the weekend, so I'll use that as a chance to recover. Alright, I should see how Eiji's doing too. I'll visit him at the hospital later, once I compile the reports. For now, what should I do? I'm going to go to the bar because I assume that will help us fix the sanity bar. Look who's back. Yep, it's me. How you doing, MC? Tired. What about you? What's wrong? Nothing, just been a long night. Working on the case? Yeah. How's that going? Not good. Girl was found dead within the school. Really? In school? Yeah. Damn, that's so creepy. What kind of psycho would do that? Beats me. If that happened to me, I'd stay the hell away from that school. It's pretty messed up, the crime scene and everything. Anyways, get me something strong to clear my mind. Something strong, huh? What would you like? Anything is fine. Anything? Are you sure? Uh-huh. Oh, that reminds me. I'm working on this new cocktail recipe. Did I tell you about it yet? No, you haven't. It's something I've been perfecting for quite a while. I'm telling you, it's my finest drink yet. Although I haven't put it up on the menu yet, because a few people don't seem to agree with my taste. Since you're my friend, I'd like your honest opinion about it. What am I, your guinea pig? Who better than my favourite customer and best friend? Fine, you leave me no choice. Great, then drinks are on the house today. Yuki grabs the cocktail shaker and begins filling it with several ingredients, meticulously measuring each one. He then begins expertly shaking it before pouring it into a glass. There you go. Yuki hands me the cocktail. Upon closer inspection, it had a nice deep red colour to it, but the consistency looked a bit thick and viscous. Why do I have a glass of blood? I assume it's not blood, but I really love how it turned out. Let me know what you think. I cautiously took a sip as Yuki watched intently. Well, what do you think? I'm not gonna lie, this tastes like cough syrup. What? Really? I mean, I can see what you're trying to do with the sweetness, but the texture is too thick and it feels like you're trying to mask the bitterness beneath. What? Oh, too bad. I was trying to go for a bold flavour, but I guess it needs some work before I can put it up on the menu. Don't feel down. I'm not sure all experiments will go perfectly. Maybe you'll hit a gold mine next time. Thanks. I hope so. Somehow, I felt a bit better after drinking that odd cocktail. Just what did he put in there? Health increased. Nope, that only fixed my health and not my sanity. Miyuki was stretched out on her bed. her gaze lost in the infinite white canvas of the ceiling. The vivid memory from last night lingered on her mind. Her friend, her companion. The sight yesterday left her paralyzed in a state of shock. Apparently, law enforcement officers arrived and escorted her home, but she had no recollection of it. It was all too surreal. Miyuki shifted to her side, curling up into a ball, hoping to fall asleep, but then she saw the time. 8 a.m. She'd been awake for most of the night. Again. It was already time for school, but her body felt like lead. I'm pretty sure you can get away with not going to school the day after you saw a dead body. I'm pretty sure that that's a reasonable excuse. The mere thought of stepping foot inside that auditorium again made her feel nauseated. Was this all just a nightmare? Even though she didn't care about the concert anymore, thoughts of her friends came to mind, and the trainee debt she still owes Kurameki Entertainment. There's a responsibility to uphold. From the bedside table, she drew 2 bottles and eyed them carefully. Now that's not a good idea. A bottle of Vigilomax and a bottle of Somnazine. Well, I've got to assume that these are sleeping pills. And those are the opposite. The choice felt oddly familiar, like a scene from a movie. Well, yeah. The blue pill bottle or the red pill bottle. A decision had to be made right now. Sleeping pills or stimulants? Girl, I think you need coffee. It's probably better for you. Lying on the bed of Kanagawa Hospital was Eiji Hoshiko, a criminal turned detective. Eiji stared at the endless ceiling as the pulse of the EKG monitor chirped in the background. Another week in this hellhole. Even drugged up in this hospital, he was unable to get sleep. No one is sleeping in this game. Or at least not for very long. A detective's mind was always working. He glanced at the empty TV screen beside him once more. For a fleeting moment, he caught a faint image of himself on the screen. Not a reflection, but an image of him lying on a wooden box. A coffin. Death was waiting patiently. He smiled as if to say, "Come and get me." At the same time, Eiji felt a certain comfort in knowing it wasn't in a hurry. They've still yet to find all the crimes of my past. I wonder if they ever will. At least that one. A knock on the door snapped him out of his thoughts. She's here. Good. Hey, Eiji. I came to check up on you. How are you doing? Well, I'm not dead yet, if that's what you're asking. Figured as much. You're one tough motherfucker. Enjoying hospital life? Enjoying? You're out there hunting criminals. I'm stuck in here with nothing but pain, TV, and medication. You sure love complaining, don't you? Just treat it like a break from work. A break from work? Quit joking around and get me the fuck out of here. I'm losing my damn mind watching TV all day. I knew you'd say that, so I bought something to keep you occupied. A gift for me. Just a book I think you might like. And the reports on May's investigation. Hand it over. Paige snatches the folder of May's investigation, taking no interest in the book. I knew you were dying to see it. Fucking lucky son of a bitch. Getting to play with a murder case while I'm bedridden here. Initially, it was just a missing person. I know, I've been watching TV all fucking day. You should have come to me sooner. You were undergoing surgery. Goddamn timing. Speaking of which, how was the procedure? Well, they said it was a success. I guess that's good news. But no more alcohol for 6 weeks. Blah, blah, blah. To hell with that. Maybe you should take it easy for a while. Eiji points at his bag near the bedside table. Miyako. What? There's a flask in my bag. Pour me a shot. Oh, that is a terrible idea, boss. Are you out of your mind? Eiji chuckles. I'm in a hospital, Miyako. If anything goes wrong, they'll fix me. That doesn't mean you should go making things go wrong, dude. You really are out of your mind. Well, if you insist. How did he manage to smuggle that into the hospital? Don't they check? Cheers, Miyako. Eiji took a small sip, the whiskey burning down his throat and belly. What kind of medicines are you on in this hospital? This could have bad effects with them. That was good. I can't wait to get back to drinking. Well, I think I'm done complaining now. You ready to talk? I am. Let's get down to business. Miyuki, guess what I got? What? Ta-da! May was proudly displaying her shiny new toy. Wow, is that a guitar? Uh-huh, it was my birthday gift. Happy birthday. Thank you. You want to hear it? It can play all sorts of sounds like guitars, pianos, synths. Sure. Okay, but I have to warn you, I can't see the notes like on a piano, so I might hit the wrong ones on accident. That's okay, just do your best. May begins playing a simple guitar melody from one of her favourite songs. At first, she was cautious not to hit the wrong notes, but gradually she gained confidence. Her usual quirkiness became a fiery idol-like intensity, one I'd never seen before. For the first time ever, I didn't see the ordinary awkward girl that was May, but glimpses of an idol performing. Wow, that was really impressive. Thanks, that was quite the workout. She rubs her shoulders playfully. This thing is quite heavy, you know. My arms and shoulders get tired quite fast. Guess that means I gotta get stronger. How bad could it be? Curious about the weight, I reached out to feel the guitar. It had a cool and metallic touch, and the build was very sturdy. No wonder it was so heavy. You weren't kidding. Why do your parents choose this one? Aren't there lighter ones out there? Don't know. Don't care. I'm just happy to get one. It's certainly a perfect fit for you. You've been carrying that all day, aren't you tired? I am, but I'm scared to leave it somewhere. Someone might steal it. Want me to hold it for you? If you don't mind. As she passed the thing to me, I immediately felt the pressure of the strap on my neck and shoulders. This thing was for sure really heavy. Oh look, this logo. What about it? You don't know? It's from a company that only makes high-quality instruments. Really? How so? I bet this one costs a dime. The sound quality is really good, and I heard they're really durable and last a really long time. Wait a minute, they're not that expensive, are they? That I don't know exactly. Why do you ask? I just want to know. I took out my phone and searched for the model. Wow, I didn't expect guitars to get this expensive. You're rich, May. What? How much is it? Seeing the price tag surprised me, but May seemed even more shocked than I was. Wow, it's really this expensive? Yep, you're one lucky girl. I wish my birthday presents were this big. I see. May didn't laugh at my joke. Instead, she stared at the screen with a blank expression on her face. Afterward, we went to the convenience store to buy some ice cream. On the way to the store, May kept quiet to herself. She usually daydreams a lot, but this time it felt different. It didn't immediately click with me why May was acting this way, but when we reached the store, I suddenly remembered something she told me many months ago. May's parents had a lot of debt to pay and frequently had to work overtime, and that's why she doesn't get to spend much time with them. One time, they even asked if May could come over to my place whilst they were working. May probably felt guilty about receiving such an expensive present, knowing her parents' situation. But despite their situation, they still bought her this guitar. Why? Hey, May, I've been thinking. Oh, what is it, Miyuki? Out of all the guitars out there, why did your parents get you this one? It's so heavy and expensive. Huh? I don't know. She thought for a moment, choosing her words carefully. It's probably because I'm spoiled. What? No! You silly goofball! I kept bugging them for one the whole time. They still could have gotten you any cheap model, though. Those ones will have poor sound quality compared to this one. I would have been fine with that. But do you know why they got you this one instead? Take a look at these reviews. I showed her all the stellar reviews. This is a professional guitar for performers. It's heavy because it has many features and is meant for adults. I think your parents chose this one because they believed in you. Believed in me? Yeah, they believe in your dream of becoming an idol, and this is their way of supporting you. This is their way of supporting me? Oh, why would they go so far? It doesn't make sense. What do you mean? They've always wanted me to get a degree, to become a doctor or engineer, so why would they go against that and spend all of their savings on this? Sorry, spend so much of their savings on this. Well, maybe they changed their minds, or they realised you have your own dreams and ambitions. But whatever the case, that part isn't important. What matters is what you'll do from now on. I'm sure they'll be happy just to hear you perform for them. It'll be like buying a lifetime worth of CDs. Unconvinced, May pauses. No, I have to repay them somehow. If this is their way of supporting my dream, then the only thing I can do is work extra hard not to let them down. I have to make it as an idol, so I can make lots of money and return the favour one day. Even though money was never the main motivator, I've always dreamt of being able to live freely, being able to pay off bills. Well, that sounds great. If you want to be an idol, imagine how much of an advantage you'll have if you start now. I'll be unstoppable! Imagine all the people who only became idols after a few years of studying. By the time I get to their stage, I'll have quadrupled their experience. May's excitement was very contagious. Even though I enjoyed idol music myself, I never felt a strong desire to become one. But May's determination also lit a fire under my heart, and all of a sudden, I felt an inspiration to work hard too. Well, I guess I have no choice but to follow you along. You'll be joining me? I can't let you dance alone, can I? It won't be easy, though. I know what I'm signing up to. Then don't chicken out when things get tough. Are you trying to scare me? Then promise me you'll see things to the end no matter what. I promise. Pinky promise? Pinky promise. May's face lit up with a smile. One day, we'll stand on a bright stage with millions of people watching us become stars. Throughout all these years, May hasn't let down on her promise. She was always disciplined and practiced nearly every day. Despite her guitar showing significant signs of wear and tear, she never asked for a new one. In fact, when she became a trainee, our agency offered to get her a new one free of charge. However, she insisted on keeping the one she currently has. That guitar, it must have been so precious to her. It was always her lifelong dream to bring it on a grand stage so her parents could see it. But now it's gone, along with her. Due to the recent circumstances, Yokohama Arts will be undergoing a partial lockdown. Certain areas will be off limits. CCTV cameras are being installed around the school, and security will be present on school grounds until the danger subsides. I know this might sound frightening, but the truth must be said. The person who is responsible is still out there. We have to stay guarded at all times, in and out of school. Please, if you have any information about May or witness suspicious activities, please report it to the school office or the anonymous tip box. Even the smallest detail could be crucial. As a community, we need to take steps to ensure the safety of this school. If there's one last thing I can do for you, May, it would be to bring your guitar onto the stage. I have to tell everyone about the hard work and sacrifices you've made. However, I don't know if I'll be able to find it. Just where could it be? Surely the killer must have discarded it by now. How do I even search for it? Will my actions even have any impact at all, or will they be in vain again? Guess only time will tell. Huh? Someone's here. Miyuki, what are you doing here? Why aren't you in class? Oh, sorry. I just wasn't feeling well. Just needed some water on my face. Don't worry about me, just get back to practice. Miyuki, look. I'm going to tell you straight. You're the leader of this group. The future falls on you. You can't be half-hearted like this. Huh? We can tell from how you act. That smile you used to put on, even that feels forced. I know you're devastated about May. We all are too. We're all scared and hurting. But as idols, we also have a job to do. There's no point in practicing if your mind isn't there. Akane's words were harsh, but there was a sincere concern underlying them. Miyuki found herself at a loss for words. Akane had always been frank, but she'd never aimed her fury at Miyuki before. We've got thousands of fans out there who believe in us and are waiting for this moment. No matter what goes on behind the scenes, the fans will be ignorant to it. All they'll see is the performance we put on, and it's our job to deliver. I'm sorry for letting you all down. How could she explain the whirlwind of emotions bottled up inside her? It doesn't feel right performing without May. Everything feels wrong. I can't stand that knowing when our debut comes, we'll be doing it without May. Look, Miyuki, I'm not good with this emotional stuff, but what I can say is, we all care about you. Please get yourself together. I understand. Go home and rest until you're ready to come back and give it your all. That's all. Oh, and this is for you. She holds out an envelope before leaving. Miyuki looks down at the cold, hard floor. I tried. What kind of leader am I? I've been so focused on my own feelings. I need to stop being selfish and start thinking about the group as a whole. Only then can we... Uh-oh. Curtains fall soon. Your final act approaches. Soon we'll be together. May Ayano. What is this? Not good is what it is. Not remotely good. I need some more water. I will be right back. And I'm back. Let's carry on. May knew her life was in danger all along, but for some reason she kept the truth all to herself. The death threats, her meeting with Takashi, not even her parents or closest friends knew. Sometimes the victim will keep their problems to themselves if they don't have people they can trust. However, considering how close she was to her friends, it's quite unusual. I can only suspect she was terrified of speaking out for some reason. Something caused her to remain silent even to her dearest friends. My guess... no one would believe her. No, that doesn't seem right. She was involved in a scandal. Could be. Or she was trying to protect someone. Also possible. I mean, it could be both of the latter ones. It could be she was trying to protect someone from getting wrapped up in the scandal. You know, it could be not her scandal, but someone else's. Let's go with this. Let's go with the she was involved in a scandal. She was involved in a scandal. Something she couldn't shed light on, forcing her to keep the letters hidden until the time was right. A scandal, huh? Just what kind of scandal? That I'm yet to figure out. That male idol, do you think? He's involved somehow, I'm quite sure of it. Hello, Shama, how you doing? And what makes you say so? The time of death... That doesn't feel like it links to him. Their place of meeting in a VIP room with no one around, right? They met in Starlight Sip. So? Never mind, I'm an idiot. Oh, no, apparently that was the wrong answer. Intelligence decreased. Okay, I mean, I guess we could go with her time of death if we're going with he's been skipping his own practices since then. Or lack of witnesses. We haven't met any witnesses and we also can't get in contact with him. Oh, it could be any of these. Let's go with the time of death one. What about her time of death? Nope. It was the middle one. Lack of witnesses. When May went missing, despite the public pleas for help, he never came forward with any information. Oh, that's what we mean. He didn't... okay. If he genuinely cared for her as a friend, lover, or even acquaintance, he wouldn't have hesitated to share any knowledge he had. This makes me suspect his involvement. There's something they're hiding, and we need to dig deeper into their history. I too think the same, however. There's something that still doesn't add up. What is it? Let's consider how the killer managed to gain access to a locked building. They were able to carry a dead body inside, set up the scene, and leave without being detected. I see where you're going with this. You're saying if the killer managed to do all of that, it means... The killer disguised themselves? Probably not. The killer doesn't match Takeshi's profile. In the manner that the killer probably went to the school, the killer hid inside? And yeah, if you could sneak in while it was open during the day, I guess. But it would be really difficult to hide. It would be really difficult to sneak a dead body in during the day when things were busy, right? The killer doesn't match his profile because he doesn't go to that school. That's what we're going to go with. In order to gain access to a locked building, the killer must have had a key or was connected to someone inside Yokohama Arts. In other words, it was likely an inside job. Very good. The way the killer managed to set everything up, it was as if they knew the layout and schedule of the place in and out. It's highly likely that they're connected to Yokohama Arts in some way, and that doesn't fit our bill with Takashi. Not until we find more evidence that he's linked somehow. Even though he might be involved, could there be someone else pulling the strings? Or is he really the culprit? Perhaps looking at the crime scene can reveal more clues. The crime scene, huh? Finally something interesting. From what I've gathered, when I first saw the arrangements of the body, I suspected a sexual motive. However, the police found no evidence of that. The way the body was arranged, the handcuffs, outfit, music, and everything, it makes me think the killer is playing some game. They're the type to crave attention and notoriety, perhaps also harbouring a strong hatred toward May or idols in general. We've seen our fair share of murders, bodies being dismembered and disposed of in garbage bags, bodies getting thrown into the water, but this? Only a deeply disturbed mind would be able to conceive of something like this. The key suspects to look out for are those who suffer from severe mental disorders. Hallucinations or delusions could easily cause this, so we can't rule out drugs too. This does align with Takeshi's profile, as I've been told he suffers from some mental illness. It takes a twisted mind to even think of such a thing, but to actually go out and do it? Regardless, it was a risky endeavour that left a trail of evidence behind, as you can see in the report. Over here you wrote, "No further investigation needed past the bridge." Why is that? Well, if you read the rest of the report, it's clear the crime couldn't have taken place there. The reason being... the surveillance cameras? There's a quiet neighborhood first, and then the bridge. But this is also the only thing that I think fits here, so... As I was investigating May's route home, I noticed several surveillance cameras in the neighborhood prior to reaching the bridge. As soon as I saw the surveillance cameras, I stopped investigating further. If May did take that route home, she would have been seen by one of the surveillance cameras, but the police found nothing. We're assuming that they checked her. Good observation. As I expected from you, Miyako. Furthermore, I don't think she was abducted at all. At the moment, the most important clue we have is the autopsy report. The cause of death, carbon monoxide poisoning. Carbon monoxide poisoning? Quite a strange method if you ask me. Just why did the killer choose this method? Carbon monoxide poisoning is a method that requires a tempered gas line is one thing. It's not a lack of oxygen. It would require her being confined. Because in order to have carbon monoxide poisoning, you're going to need to be shut in a place with carbon monoxide. Be it a garage with a car running, or a room or house with a messed up gas line. But you have to have them shut in there with... There can't be like an open window with a breeze and stuff, because that would help disperse it. So she would have to be confined to somewhere. It's a rather silent way of killing someone. All you need is to be confined in a poorly ventilated space with a carbon monoxide source, such as a faulty heater or fireplace, and the person could be dying without even knowing. But just how did the killer manage to confine May into a room without any evidence of a struggle? There were no injuries on her body, apart from her wounds from her training as an idol. No injuries on her body, huh? Don't you find that a bit strange, Miyako? Yeah, it does kind of suggest that she, like, went with them. And they, like, told her to hole up in a place. Yeah, there's only one reason why she was unharmed. Oh, it could be either of these. She could have been drugged or lured. Although, no. I mean... if she was lured, surely there would be a point at which she would wake up. At which she would realise what's going on and then put up a struggle. So she must have been drugged. Well... except then you could also have signs of a struggle depending on how she got drugged. No, lured makes more sense, I think. An abduction would leave some kinds of signs of trauma, unless for some reason she chose not to fight back. However, without any injuries on her body, it's safe to assume she was lured. But just who could have lured her? I've been trying to wrap my head around this, but I could only suspect it was someone she knew. Well, someone she trusted. Yeah. It can only be someone she knew and trusted. May wasn't the type to go someplace strange without telling anybody. She'd at least call her parents. But this time she willingly went inside an enclosed room, staying there until she passed out. Even with her phone on her, she never thought about calling anybody. For a complete stranger to do that, the odds would be a near impossibility. However, if it was someone she trusted, someone whom she felt completely safe around, it would make a lot more sense. It's one thing to be an overall cautious person, but when you're around someone you're close with, even the most paranoid person can let their guard down. She had no idea what was coming, even up to the end when she was in that room. She probably thought she was feeling unwell or something. Then before she knew it, she was unconscious. And that's why if you have a gas feed to your house, you need to have yourself a carbon monoxide monitor, because that thing can kill you before you even know it's doing it. Safety tips. Just who could have done this? At the moment, the only people I'm aware that are really close to May are her parents, friends, and teachers. We can probably rule out her parents, though. Someone who had access to a locked building. Someone who knew the layout and schedule of Yokohama Arts in and out. And someone whom May trusted. It suits the bill perfectly. Maybe a little too perfect. That doesn't leave us many options, does it? Could it really be one of them? We have to find out. But how? Follow standard protocol, Miyako. This is a special case involving a kidnapping, murder, and staging. The first step is to pinpoint the exact times those things happened. We already know when the kidnapping/luring occurred, but what about the murder and staging? If we can figure those out, the next steps should be obvious. Right, after we pinpoint those events, we'll be able to reconstruct the timeline. Right, after we pinpoint those events, we'll be able to reconstruct the timeline of the crime. I can't tell if you're being serious or joking. That doesn't count, but that's what we're doing, the timeline. Darn it. I was joking, obviously. Oof. Alright. Okay, verify the alibis. Because if we know the timeline, then we can verify the alibis. Got it. Yeah. If we can pinpoint when those events occurred, we'll be able to verify the alibis of each of the suspects. Given how small our suspect list is, it shouldn't take long to do. And at the very least, we'll know if we're on the right track or not. Yeah, the intelligence is taking a hit, isn't it? Darn it. We've taken more hits to it than we added points to it earlier. That's right. I want every one of them to testify what they were doing during those times. You got it, AG. I'll do my best. Oh man, this will be incredibly awkward. Treating those girls as suspects right after their friend's death. How do I approach such a delicate matter? I need to be really careful here. Good thing Eiji isn't on the case. Also, Miyako, your earlier deduction was incorrect about the crime scene. Huh? Which one? Remember what I told you? About how the crime scene is a window into the perpetrator's soul? Look at it carefully, and you'll be able to see their true nature. The type of person they are, their motives, their patterns, their habits, and even their emotional state. This wasn't done by some deranged druggie or mentally unstable person. The killer clearly premeditated the murder, carefully planning May's capture, then meticulously setting up the crime scene. It was all calculated. Someone under the influence of drugs, alcohol, or psychosis would be acting out of impulsivity. No fucking way they'd be able to methodically plan and set up such a grand scene like this. But most importantly, you can get a clearer indication of the killer's motive by analysing the crime scene. This wasn't a crime fueled by hatred. Do you see why? The idol costume? The autopsy reports, because she doesn't have any wounds. I'm not sure which of these is going to be right. Kind of want to go with the idol costume. Okay, let's go with that cloak. This wasn't a crime. You can get a clearer indication of the killer's motive by analysing the crime scene. This wasn't a crime fueled by hatred. Do you see why? I want to go with the idol costume, I think. And what exactly does that tell us? Nope. Darn it. Alright, do we just want the crime scene itself, or do we want the autopsy report that says she's got no injuries? Because I thought we already talked about that. The crime scene. No! I thought we already talked about the fact she doesn't have any injuries, though. No, apparently it was the option. If there was hatred, the killer would have chosen a more violent death. Carbon monoxide poisoning is too peaceful for a grudge. This was a cold, calculated murder that lacks the personal touch of vengeance. If you hate someone so much you'd kill them, you'd probably shoot, stab, or beat them to death. But carbon monoxide poisoning... Admittedly, it could be a mistake, right? It could have been a kidnapping by someone who didn't realise that where they put her was unsafe. That's an option. It's almost as if they didn't want her to feel pain. didn't want her to feel pain. However, what worries me is the way the scene was set up. Well, yeah, I presume the thing about the way the scene was set up is like treating her as a puppet. Setting up such a grand stage, putting so much effort into making her death so beautiful, it makes me wonder, were they trying to send a message? If so, were they trying to send a public message? I mean, I assume that we weren't supposed to stumble across that scene. I assume that the rest of the idol group was supposed to stumble across that scene. Yeah, you're right. If it was a mistake, why would they go to that much effort to set it up like they did? That's true. Or a more personal one. Who would have been the first person to see it? Judging by how everything was set up, I don't think this is the end. We should be ready for another incident. Another one? Miyako, get our guy to forge some documents and plant it in Yokohama Arts, then obtain search warrants for that place. What? No fucking way! Since I'm unable to work, you have to be the one to do it. No, evidence planting isn't part of my toolkit. I'm very sorry. You idiot, Miyako! AG, even in our line of work, there are lines that shouldn't be crossed. Not every crime scene yields the evidence we need, Miyako. How many times has a case only been solved because we went above and beyond the law? Think about all those victims who would still be waiting for justice had we not taken those steps. But if they turn out to be innocent, we can't just ruin a school's reputation like that. It doesn't matter. Do you think it's better for criminals to be walking the streets freely? There are times when crimes aren't solvable by sticking to the rules. You need to fight fire with fire, or else the case will go cold. Think about it, Miyako. We may not be at that point yet, where we have to resort to it. But the faster you act, the better odds you'll have of saving people. All right. If we reach a standstill, I'll consider it. Good. Don't let the agency down. This is a huge case with a lot of eyeballs. Ooh. Is this the end of the demo? With the loss of May, our hearts were shattered into a million tiny pieces. But on stage, our minds were unbreakable. Miyuki was already back to her normal self, dancing and singing. Or some might think that. Miyuki is just doing what she's been taught her whole life, to put on a brave face. It's been conditioned in an idol to show that everything is okay. However, what you saw was far from okay. Stop pushing yourself, Miyuki, is what I wanted to say. But if the show gets cancelled? My spine shudders even thinking of it. No, I can't afford to lose this opportunity. Being an idol is all I have. I'm sure we can hang in there for another month. Everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. If the killer goes after me, I'll be the one to end them. Ooh. Miyuki. She's like, come at me, killer. I'll murder you. The brightest stars shine through the darkest nights. But the brighter they shine, the faster they burn out. There we go. Credits. Credits roll and the demo is over. I like that we got a little idle song at the end there. This demo was made by a small, passionate team. If you enjoyed the game, visit our website at vnheaven.io and join our totally awesome newsletter. I'm assuming that that is what the QR code is pointing at. Let's check. Yep, that is a link to joining the mailing list. So if you want to do that, scan that QR code right there. So yeah, we're done with the demo. Thank you very much for coming. It's been very interesting and fun. If you're new here and you've enjoyed your time, consider subscribing to the channel. And you can also follow me on social media, which is linked in the description box. Also, linked in the description box is the Steam page for this game, if you want to go over there and wishlist it so that you can see when it comes out. And also the link to the Choose Wisely Festival as a whole, which is still going until, I think, just before my stream tomorrow, I believe. So if you want to go check out the games that have already released and are available on discount, or demos of various other games, go check that out. So this was your favourite one this week, was it, Drag? I can't decide which I liked the best. They were all good in their own ways. I also liked that I was able to set up a week of entirely detective stuff, which was definitely deliberate. I'd started referring to it personally as oops, all detectives. So yes, anyway. Where were we? Yes. The streaming schedule for this channel goes up both over on social media and over here on YouTube in the post tab of the channel. This was the last scheduled stream of this week. Well, technically there was another one on the schedule, but that was a backup this evening in case one of the two demos this week went a little too long. But since we finished both of those demos, I will not be doing an extra stream this evening. So yeah. This was the last scheduled stream, and there will be a new schedule up later tonight. The the next stream will be tomorrow, Monday, 7 p.m. Finally getting back to Variable Barricade. It has been, unfortunately, too long, and I want to rectify that one. So, hope to see you then, or another time. Once again, thank you very much for coming, and this is Kalla signing out. See ya! Bye-bye!